Okay, so another question is talking about these subsidies, right? Okay, so subsidies we can provide is if it's a HDB loan of 300,000 and above, we are able to provide cash reward up to $1,800. For private housing loan, right, $2,000 cash reward. And what is the cost of the refinancing, right? Legal fees, I think in the market lowest should be about 1,008 net for refinancing. Then for the valuation fee, our lowest could be about 350. So total cost of refinancing for private is actually about 2,150. Okay, if you let us appoint a law firm, okay, then the cash reward is 2,000. So the top up from the customer's end is actually 150. And in fact, right, if they want to use their existing CPF to pay the legal fees, right, okay, we will just reimburse them in cash. So we give them 2,000. The customer actually can deduct from the CPF 1,008 to pay the legal fees, right? And out of my 2,000, use 350 to pay for the valuation fee, right? So they can keep 1,650 in their pockets. Elaine's question, refinance to tenor extension is upon TOP, right? Yes. Upon TOP, you can actually seek for this tenor extension together. Okay, but do note that if it's going to be a refinance for another bank, right, the existing bank may charge some form of penalty. So it will be best to actually only do it when you are midway through TOP. Why do I say midway? Is because you need not have to wait to CSC to effect this. Okay, but you can probably 6 months to 6 months time, you can actually start to apply to the other bank. Then we just arrange for the loan to be dispersed after CSC so that the customer don't get any penalty. Okay, Daryl's question, if there's a FD or pledge. Actually, Daryl, this is a very good question. Okay, this is actually one of my other sharing during my training sessions with my agent friends. Okay, so my question to you is now if you are actually pledging some monies for the purpose of the housing loan for a purchase, okay, subsequently you fully pay off the property or you actually refinance to another bank, right? The existing bank has no longer any rights on the FD that was formerly pledged to them. Because back then when you pledge the FD, right, it's purely for the purchase. So now if you were to move your bank loan out of that bank, right, the bank don't have a right over your FD anymore. So meaning to say, right, okay, the FD amount can either be reduced or cancelled. Okay, why do I say so? Is because we know that for purchase, we have to use TDSR to compute, right? Okay, refinancing, we also use TDSR, but refinancing TDSR need not be at 60%. Okay, so your TDSR percentage can be up to maybe 500%, 1,000%. Okay, as long as the bank is comfortable to do the refinancing for you, right? Okay, TDSR can be exceeded. And when I say so, when TDSR is exceeded, right, meaning to say the pledging amount can be removed or lowered. Because now we use not 60% to compute anymore. Okay, we can use a higher limit, subject to, of course, the credit's comfort also. Okay, if this profile of the customer is very good, right, we have done 3,000% TDSR before. Okay, the normal customers, I would say that maybe ranges between 100 to 500% for TDSR computation for refinancing, which is why the FD can be removed or lowered, the FD amount previously pledged. Okay, hope that answers your questions, Daryl.
Hello.
Yep.
Daryl here.
Yeah.
So, just a question. So basically, if the pledging you say can take out, right?
When you do a refinancing to another bank.
Correct. So
Yep.
let's say bank A to bank B. So bank A have to return the pledging amount, right?
Don't return the pledging amount. What they do is that, okay, how it works is that FD, right? They will actually just put a lock over it. Okay, but once your loan has been fully paid off or you refinance to another bank, right, they will just uplift the lock so that the customer can choose to either remain the FD to remain in the bank or they can just actually withdraw.
Oh, okay.
FD is just normal, whether it's a pledging FD or a normal customer put an FD, right? It's the same product. It's just that when there's a pledging involved, right, then the loan department will actually lock the FD so that no one can withdraw one. So even the customer try to go to the over the counter to withdraw the FD, right, they will not be able to withdraw because there will be a message saying that refer to the loan department. Earmark it, that's right, Audrey. Yeah, in banking.
The loan department of Bank A.
Yes, they will do a lock and uplifting of the earmark.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
No worries. So this is also to Daryl's question, is a very good question because if you have objections from your customers, right, pertaining to, I must pledge FD 300K, 500K, right? But the issue is that when they actually do a refinancing, right, when they go and reapply to Bank B, right, okay, they were based on TDSR exceeding 60% to apply. So meaning to say the FD amount can be reduced. Okay, subject to the Bank B's credit approval and their comfort level. And in another instance, it could be when the property was purchased with Bank A, okay, the applicant is only 21 years old, undergraduate, so do a full pledging to pass the loan. But fast forward 2 years later, they have already started work, they have income already, so the pledging may not even be required anymore. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if there's no further questions, then I will hand the time over back to Bryan.
All right. Thank you so much, Edmund.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So any other questions don't have, then I will take over from Edmund. If not, right, alternatively, I think Edmund and his team, you guys got leave your number, right?
Yep. Just now I actually shared already. Let me just share one more time.
All right. So just save their number, and then any questions, just actually reach out to them with regards to your clients. All right.
Bryan, let's say if you need any EC trainings, right, for your project leader, so that you can let me know as well. We can arrange one. A refresher for the team.
We already got pushback, so
that's why actually I prepared something for EC, but I think this will be more beneficial for the agents to have a topic with the customers over the next 2 weeks.
No problem. But I think we should be August after the 18th. So we'll speak to the developer.
Thank you very much.
We'll
okay, so this is our contacts, right? So maybe I'll just flash it for the next 5 seconds. If you can help us to print screen and then take down our numbers. Okay, when you contact us, please do let us know that we met in this PST training. Okay, so that we can be more focused in this building this relationship with the team.
All right.
Okay.
Can you show the table, please? What table?
This one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a can see. Yeah, so this is actually useful in the sense that you can actually just refer to the table based on which loan tenor and the loan amount, right? You can roughly tell the installment at one glance.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So everybody, we go for a quick 2 minutes to 3 minutes break. Freshen up. Then we'll come back and then we will kickstart the PST lesson proper. All right. Thank you so much, Edmund and his team. All right. Is everybody back? Okay, if everybody is back, maybe can y'all do me a favor? Can you give me a 2 in the group chat? 2 in the group chat, so I can start. Awesome. Okay, great. Hold on. All right, can you all see what's on screen? Okay, so we are going to start today's session. I forgot I'm number what session already? I think I'm number 6 session already. Okay, so today we will be going through actually creating a savings plan through real estate itself. And of course, we know that PNG Academy is really newly formed. So you guys are the lucky batch. I think you guys will have to go through a series of short tests. And all these test questions I will be covering in my session itself. So do take note of all the important segments later on so that y'all can score well for your test. All right. So the entire idea of why PNG Academy is formed is so that all of you can be certified. All right. So that's what the direction we want to go to. And for the PNG Academy, that is what we want to empower our agents to be. All right, certified financial planners or certified PST trainers, PST consultants and things like that. All right, so for us itself at PST, this topic itself, we will be talking about creating a savings plan through real estate. So other than going through the slides, I will be touching on a few real life scenarios of what we can do or how we can actually speak to our clients so that I think it's more interactive if today we use real life experience to deal with the techniques that are being shared. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I was previously from Dennis Wee, and then I joined PropNext in 2013. I actually became a trainer in 2013, and I've been doing training since 2013 till now. All right, so I started doing project marketing in 2018, and for those of you who know, I'm a chief IC for the upcoming Park Greenwich EC. Unfortunately, because of the current situation, our launch was pushed backwards. So our launch is being postponed. So we will be sending out news on when you can book your preview slots for the upcoming EC. Okay. Generally, I don't really do a lot of cases per year. I focus a lot on helping my clients restructure their portfolio, be either sell one, upgrade, or sell one to buy two. I think the word restructuring itself is more commonly seen as sell one, buy two. But the whole idea is not this. The whole idea is when we restructure a client's portfolio, it's really about understanding the client's needs and understanding what are they going to do with their property portfolio. And from there itself, right, we can create something that is more situated to their needs. So again, when it comes to restructuring, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to upgrade. In fact, a downgrading can be a form of restructuring if it's for retirement. All right, so that is the general scale of things. Don't get it wrong. Don't misunderstand that, hey, I restructure means I need to upgrade, or I restructure means I need to sell one, buy two. It doesn't necessarily need to be that way. Okay, so so all these ground rules we don't need to cover. But again, when it comes down into the scope of what we are going to do today, it's a little bit of introduction, and I will be sharing onto how can we speak to our clients, or how can we really engage our clients. The next thing that we will be touching on is the different types of savings plan and the different calculators involved, different calculations involved for the different savings plan. And lastly is a 3 steps risk management. So a lot of it, I will also be drawing today. So you will be seeing me drawing into a whiteboard, and then y'all can ask me questions there. Okay. All right. I think you can't see this because I just ported the slides over to the new background. But anyway, the question being is today, are you selling or are you listening? All right. I think come to a semi-lockdown again, right? I think it's very important because as of last year, right, when we were in the lockdown phase, I think many of my own agents have this problem is because they were very anxious, they started selling the products and they started selling very hard to the clients. All right, so the question today when we are doing sales or when we are doing pitching, right, are we listening or are we selling? I think that is something that is very important to understand. And I feel that even though you're hearing out there that you need to listen more to your clients' needs, it generally does not apply to a lot of agents because it's very difficult to apply what you're hearing, listening. Okay, so even if I listen, what should I be spotting out for? All right, and even if I spot out all this, right, what should I be asking? Okay, so that is what we need to do in order for you to listen and for you to be able to understand, right? You need to listen and use what your clients tell you to your advantage. Meaning to say, if my clients tell me that, oh, I have 2 kids, age of maybe kindergarten or 1 in primary school, then you need to understand, oh, okay, so 1 in primary school, are you going to send your kids to that school? If so, would you want to be moving closer to your kids' school? So things like that, this is what we want to listen really and to identify the needs by the clients, okay? So when we talk about this, a lot of it boils down to this thing called the why technique, all right? I've covered this a lot in a lot of my trainings, but I still see that it's not easy to apply the why technique in your presentation, all right? So if we talk about, so if we talk about why technique itself, right, the thing about why technique is to listen and to question, all right? You need to be listening, you need to be questioning, and you need to be listening, all right? So these 2 things have to come hand in hand. When you ask questions, you then listen and then you identify then you identify needs. All right, so in order for you to identify what is your client's needs, these 2 things goes hand in hand. You ask questions, you listen, and then you identify. All right, so that is something that I feel a lot of agents, when they are asking questions, or rather, when you're talking to your clients, mostly cold clients or warm clients, be it whichever it is, when you ask questions, right, I realize a lot of agents like to ask surface questions. All right, surface questions. Can you all see what I'm writing on screen? Because I realize it's orange and I'm writing using red words. All right, so you all can see, you all can see, then that's good. All right, so again, right, you are asking surface questions. What do I mean by surface questions? It's simple questions like, oh, what's your budget? Where do you want to stay? How many bedrooms do you want? All right, the thing about it is that all these questions are what many agents are asking. I can ask my clients, okay, so how many bedrooms you want? You want a 3-bedroom? Your budget at 1.5 mil? Hey, okay, let's go and view the property. All right, but again, if you are doing it this way, right, in all fairness, you are no different from the agent that is right beside you or the agent that is in front of the screen with you. So where can you add that value? All right, your value adding proposition, where is it? All right, so when you're doing this surface questioning, right, you should go more in depth. All right, what do I mean by more in depth? In-depth questions make people a little bit uncomfortable, or rather make yourself a little bit uncomfortable. Example, if I ask, oh, so you guys are looking at a 3-bedroom. All right, so a family of how many? Maybe a family of 4. All right, oh, so 2 kids, is it? So you ask further questions, you elaborate your questions. Okay, so your kids, they each want 1 room, and from there itself, you need a bigger space. All right, but then because there's a kid, you can naturally assume, oh, how are your kids really? Do you need to be near their school? All right, so questions like this comes in. You don't just ask questions for the sake of asking the question. You ask these questions to understand the clients. Why I say it's important? Because this leads me to this next slide. In the why technique, okay? In the why technique, right? You want to be understanding further in depth of, hey, Mr. Buyer, okay, so now that you tell me you want a 3-bedroom and you want to upgrade, so may I check with you actually, why are you doing this now? All right, what prompted you to do this now? And the next thing is actually, where do you see yourself with this current property, assuming that you make this purchase? Where do you see this yourself with this property in the next 3 to 5 years? Okay, then question is, what if you need to sell, and what is next after this? All right, why are we asking these questions? Okay, why are we asking these questions? The why technique, right, in all fairness, not only you want to listen and to identify needs, actually the the in-depth analysis of why I do a why technique, it's really to find out what this keyword is called driving force. Okay, so when you ask questions, actually what you are trying to achieve, right, is to achieve what is your driving force, Mr. Client. Everybody has a driving force. Everybody do certain things out of certain reasons. So, Mr. Client, when you want to upgrade, what is your driving force? Of course, you cannot outrightly ask them, hey, what drives you? What's your driving force? No. All right. To do this, right, is for you to find out what is their motivation. All right. Again, when we say this, 90% of the clients that I deal with generally do it out of money. Okay. Why I say this? They can tell you that they want to upgrade for their kids, they want to do this, they want to do that. But the next thing is you ask them, what if in 3 to 5 years, if you decide to sell, or when the time comes when you need to sell, assuming your kids already grown up, PSLE finished, example, and then you go to another school, and you realize that, hey, actually, I don't have to stay here anymore. The next question I ask them, but in the event that you sell, say, in 8 to 10 years, are you okay with certain properties that we are looking at losing money? All right, the first reaction, how many of you want to buy a property and lose money one? For those who don't want to lose money, can you all give me an 8, please, in the group chat? For those of you who decide to sell your property and don't want to lose money, give me an 8. All right, so you can see almost nobody wants to lose money. All right, so when it comes down to this, all right, when I ask the client this, if you decide to do certain things, and assuming that you move because you want to move near to your kids' school, you want to upgrade your lifestyle, in the event that you need to sell in the next maybe 8 years or so, can you accept losing money? All right, why am I saying this, Mr. Buyer? Again, right, different goals, right, different time period. All right, short-term goal, mid-term goal, or a long-term plan. All right, these 3 criteria, right, is what I use to recommend property accordingly to your needs. All right, so if I meet a client who is always hovering between a short-term plan and a mid-term plan, generally, short-term plan, I would say, is 3 to 5 years. Okay, a mid-term plan in context is 5 to 8 years, and anything more than that, right, okay, and above, this is what we call a long-term plan. All right, when we do this, what we are trying to find out from them is, okay, Mr. Buyer, if your plan is more short to mid-term, what kind of properties should you be buying? In the event that I want to buy a resale, what kind of resale can I buy? In the event if I want to buy a new launch, what should I be buying? All right, they can give you this kind of results, short to mid-term plan. Next, if today I'm meeting a client who's in their 40s, all right, and they say I want to upgrade, all right, maybe to a landed property or maybe to a bigger freehold property, you can also ask them this question. What is their plan? Is it short, mid, or long term? All right, if it's long term, then yes, freehold property of what kind of development. So you can show them that today, right, at different timeline, you will be able to identify different properties that will best benefit them. Okay, so for the younger families, right, I will always ask what is next after this. That means after you do this already, what is next? After you buy this property already, in 3 to 5 years, in 5 to 8 years, if you sell, what is next? All right, so again, I understand you all have been through a lot of sharing, and a lot of sharing will always tell you, oh, you need to ask questions, you need to identify needs, you need to listen to your clients. But to me, this guideline of the why technique, why are we doing this, and we break down into goals and plans, it is clearer, and it helps me identify my clients' needs faster. Okay, because now there's a time element. Now there is a what if you need to sell, and now there is a what is next after this, and why are you doing this? When you have all this structure in mind, when you are doing your presentation or your pitching to your clients, when you start asking questions, it will eventually lead to all these sets of guidelines that I usually do with my own agents. All right, so this is important. This allows you to be clearer and it allows you to understand the needs of your client, and most importantly, it allows you to do what? It allows you to find out the driving force of your client, which is very, very important. Okay, so this is the why technique. Okay, again, why are we doing this? Is because if I go back to typically how an agent runs their business. All right, this is not the first thing that will come into their mind. They are always very product centric. So instead of that, right, they will be selling the product or the what. Then they will go into the how, and then lastly, the why. Okay, when you are doing it like that, all right, if I put it into context for your, if I put it into context, if I'm doing it as a what, how, why method, okay? How many of you have this problem when you are dealing with clients, all right? Let's say, for example, warm lead or cold lead, all right? The first question that you ask is not the project name. The first question that you ask is, have you seen new launch? Have you considered new launch? All right, let's be very fair. In this chat room, or rather in this room itself, I think that we are all learning. It's okay. How many of you always jump to ask them, have you seen new launch or have you considered new launch? All right, for those of you who have done this, can you all give me M, please? M. Or guilty of doing this? Can you all give me an M? All right. So naturally, right, you do realize that because we are all salesperson, the easiest way, all right, the easiest way instead of asking questions is to go into a product because it's something familiar, it's something that you all know. All right, and if you all go into a product, all right, and say for example today the product is, for example, what example do I want to give you? Okay, example, Park Greenwich. Okay, since it's launching, let's use Park Greenwich as an example. All right, and the thing about it is that the moment you do this, right, you start asking them, hey, have you considered this development or have you considered a new launch project? All right, and then they say, oh, never. All right, if they say never, right, you start upselling. All right, what will you start upselling? Okay, you all will start upselling the perks of new launch. How new launch make money? Correct? How many of you do this? That means, right, I haven't even thought about anything. I never thought about this. The moment I ask you, have you considered new launch? They say no. Or they say yes. The immediate thing that you all want to do, right, is to upsell. Hey, why you all need to buy new launch? The importance of buying new launch because it can make money. All right, so you all jump into this. All right, when you talk about new launch itself, all right, it doesn't necessarily have to be product specific. The moment you jump into new launch, you are talking about a type of product. Okay, so that itself is a what technique. All right, and assuming that today you jump into the what technique, and I use Park Greenwich as one of the example. If I have an objection for Park Greenwich, assuming 1080 to 12xx per square foot seems very expensive for an EC there, can buy or not? What would most agents be doing at this point now? When there's an objection, what would you all be doing? Anybody want to share? What will you all be doing? In nicer terms, we call it handling. In nicer terms, we call it handling objection. All right. When there's an objection faced by a client, then we come and handle this objection. All right. In my context, it's not handling objection. The moment this happens, you are trying to justify. You justify the objection. Okay? And when you're justifying the objection, generally you become very defensive. You'll be like, hey, no lah, 1080 to 12xx. Actually, for EC, it is very, very expensive. Very, very cheap. Okay? Fabian, is it? Show surroundings more expensive, condo PSF. Yes, at this point, you are just justifying. All right, because they come up with an objection already, you are justifying this objection. by doing this. Show surrounding, hey, yeah, you see the condo PSF is more expensive. But guys, you have put yourself in a very, very dangerous position. What position you put yourself in? You are putting yourself in a very defensive position. Okay, Bobby, is the same thing. Recommend other lower PSF. Today, right, that is the main problem. All right, you become very defensive in terms of what you're trying to sell to your clients. And this will happen, all right, even before you can even reach the how and the why. If you die in the product, meaning to say that, like what Bobby is going to do now, he say recommend other lower PSF available EC. This is the easy way out, because what you're trying to do now is you're trying to become a tour guide. All right, you're trying to be a tour guide, because trust me, if you never done your identification of needs, you never done your why technique, if you are doing what technique first, all right, at the end of the day, you'll just be a tour guide. Because if I see this EC, all right, I will tell you, okay, this is expensive. And you bring me to another EC, or you bring me to another condo, you will continuously bring me around. All right, and there's no end to this. I want to close client by 2 show flat viewings or 3 viewings at max. All right, 3 show flat at max. Okay, so if you're going to do this, right, there will always be objection, and there will be always something that they will find that they don't like about this particular project or don't like about this particular product. All right, and that itself is something that we don't want to go through. All right, so everybody in this group chat, how many of you agree with me? You all want to close your clients in 3 viewings? Give me a yes. 3 viewings, give me a yes. All right, so we all want to be able to close our clients faster. Okay, because right, being a successful buyer's agent, you all need to understand this. It's not about how fast you can close a deal. In all fairness, it's really not about how many deals you can close. All right, the key thing I always tell agents is that today, right, you want to be a successful buyer's agent, is how fast you can drop a client. It got nothing to do with how many cases you close, but how fast you can drop your client. And how do we do that? Okay, you come back to what we are talking about. You identify the why. Okay, and by doing this, right, once you identify the why, you find out what's the driving force already. Mr. Client, okay, I understand now. You're doing this for your kids now. Your kids are still young. You want them to be able to enjoy. Now, at the same time, I understand one more thing. We agree that we don't want to lose money. Yes, all right. We all say that we don't want to lose money, right? So we agree that we don't want to lose money. And because your plan is so short-lived, or rather so a 3 to 5 years or 5 to 8 years plan, it's a short to mid-term plan. What should we be buying to protect the value, or to at least retain the value? Okay, we can be looking into a product that can grow with you in this 5 to 8 years. And what product is that? Okay, now instead of recommending the product, I'll tell them, let's look at one more thing first. Before we decide what product we can look at, let's look at how the market functions. Okay, and that is actually the next step. By doing this, right, identifying the needs, right, ladies and gentlemen, you just went in to align with your clients. Okay, every year we do this thing. Every year as a leader, I sit down with my agents. I make sure that I run through the goal setting. All right, why? Because I need them to be aligned with me, aligned with the goals, and aligned with the kind of property that we want them to be selling. This alignment is very important. The moment you're out of alignment in real estate, you may be very lost. Same thing with the clients. I want the clients to understand, Mr. Buyer, I want you to be aligned with me. Okay, and by doing the why technique, by asking them, you are aligning yourself with your clients already, and they are on the same page as you. Now they understand why they are doing this. Okay, you help them see the light at the end of the tunnel. You help them see that, hey, today, understand why am I doing this upgrade? What am I trying to achieve by doing this upgrade? So this alignment is important. You have already successfully aligned yourself with your clients. They know that, yes, I want to stay, but I'm not staying long term. I want to make money from this property. Okay, so that's the alignment. Next, we give this thing called the empowerment. All right, and in empowerment, right, which part of this is actually empowerment? So remember, we are going through the why. The next thing that we want to touch on is the how. Okay, traditionally, right, the how technique involves financial calculation and the procedures and the timeline management. Y'all would think that all this is the how. All right, to me, the how is not the timeline management, it's not the financial calculation. The how is actually empowerment and education. Okay, so the how becomes education / empowerment. Okay, so in this case, what you are trying to do with your clients is, Mr. Buyer, now we understand your driving force. Let's look into how can I empower you to make this decision. I'm going to share with you a few things. I will be sharing with you things like how to spot or why now. Okay, meaning to say, why should we be exiting the market now? Why should we be buying properties now? How can I spot a value proposition, a property? All right. When you are empowering your clients to make the right decision, right, you give this knowledge to your clients so that at the end of the day, right, they're very in sync with you. Okay. At the same time, you educate on the current market situation or the current market sentiments. All right. If you do not know how to do that, right, we actually have CES. Okay. So you can actually encourage your clients to sit into CES to be able to understand why can they sell their HDBs now, or why should they be selling now, and what kind of properties that they can be considering at this current juncture as well. Okay, and this will empower you to be on the same page as your clients. Okay, now I ask you a question. Let's be honest to ourselves again. How many of you have this problem? When your clients, right, when you make arrangement with your clients is the one that is bringing you around. That means telling you that, hey, I want to view this, I want to view that, I want to view that. How many of you are facing this problem? All right, give me a 3. Give me a 3. All right. If you are facing this, all right, I want you all to do, I give you the solution now. Okay. If you are facing this, I want you to do one thing. After one viewing, ask your client for 1 hour. All right, ask your clients for 1 hour. Sit them down, all right, be it via Zoom or be it via at their house, okay? Throw away or toss aside everything else that they have viewed and say, Mr. Client, let's do this. Let's review what we have seen so far. All right, yes, we have seen this, but none of it is to your liking. Let's do one more thing. Let's throw away everything else and let's re-look into why are we doing this in the first place. All right, and then you restart the presentation from identifying their needs again and then empowering them again. All right, in this case, Mr. Client, I understand that you want to upgrade your lifestyle. I understand that you also want to make money from this property. And last but the most important thing is the timeline of holding or the duration of holding is actually short to mid-term. All right, it's actually short to mid-term. And with that being said, Mr. Client, I suggest we look into properties like, for example, Treasures, Antares, Pasir Ris 8, something along this line. All right, then you start proposing. Why? Now, if I go back into this model over here, why, how, and what? Okay, remember, just now we always start with the what first. In this case, right, I have done the why. I find out what is the driving force. I've also empowered them to make decisions on their own. I give them the education that they need, or rather the things that they don't know about real estate, and then I give them the breakdown of why is it like that. Now that they're empowered, now they have the knowledge. If I start recommending projects here, all right, again, guys, it doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be a new launch. It can be a resale, it doesn't matter, as long as you know how to identify. So again here, if I recommend projects, same thing if I talk about Park Greenwich. All right, Park Greenwich itself, same thing, the objection, 1080 to 12XX per square foot. Isn't this expensive? Then what I will go back into, Mr. Client, is this your objection? All right, so yes, this is something that they are objecting about, but you don't have to go back to show them everything else already. I just need you all to do this. Mr. Client, remember how we spot properties. Why is Park Greenwich one of those properties that is good for you to enter into the market now? Being an EC, it is one of the last few plots of EC that will not break the $600 per square foot bought by the developers. All right, Tengah EC is at particularly $600 and above per square foot. And for future EC, it's going to be like, so when we were going through this, right, what did we talk about? All right. Then you start to remember, hey, yeah, actually, yes, true, understand. Now, Mr. Client, most importantly, it's not about all this. Most importantly, do you remember what is your driving force? Okay. Hey, Mr. Client, remember you told me that today you want to upgrade this lifestyle and you don't want to break your bank. And most importantly, you are asking for a short midterm plan. And then last thing, right, is that you want to make money. All right. And by doing this, Mr. Client, Park Greenwich and maybe, for example, Treasures, all right, is actually one of those properties that falls directly into all these categories. Upgrade in lifestyle, you can then let go of this property in 5 to 8 years. You can then make money from this property. So again, right, ladies and gentlemen, it's really not about the products. The products is actually the least important. All right, the more important thing is to align yourself with your clients and find out their driving force. Okay, so for those of you who are undergoing this current stage now, your clients are leading you all over the place. I need you all to sit them down again and run through from the start, find out their driving force, identify their niche ready, then go into empowerment again, and then lastly, revisit the projects that you can recommend them. All right, trust me, by doing this, right, you are no longer a tour guide. You are no longer a tour guide. Okay? Because by doing this, right, for the last few years, most of my clients actually close in the one viewing that they go. In that one viewing, we'll visit 2 to 3 show flats. I don't even need 3 days of viewing. It's just one day of viewing, 3 show flats. Now, the issue about the why, how, what, I don't think it's an issue. I personally prefer this method. Is that instead of going out on multiple occasions to view properties, all right, I spend more time talking to the clients, presenting to the clients the why and the how. All right, I tell you, it's not easy, but you will spend 3 to 4 appointments. Your first appointment going up is to purely identify the needs and identify the driving force of the client. All right, your second appointment going up is to educate and to empower. All right, and the third appointment you go up is to probably do the financial calculation and let them know that, hey, this is a safe plan. And then finally, the fourth outing with them will be viewing. For me, I will tend to arrange for resale and new launch together so that they can do the comparison. All right, I don't want them to view ready and then suddenly come back and say, hey, actually, I want resale. No. So by doing this itself, right, I will eventually be able to close them in one sitting. But yes, I will go through my presentation with them for like 2 or 3 sittings. And this will take about 2 hours to 3 hours per session. All right. Now, up to this point, anybody got any question? I want to break my presentation into parts so that you all can digest. Up to this point, anybody got any questions so far? Or everything is good? Okay, so if there is no question, again, let's all relook into this. I will leave my screen on. Let's digest this for maybe about 2 minutes, okay? So drink a cup of coffee, drink a water, and then we look at this for the next 2 minutes. All right, sorry. All right. No questions and everybody is good. We will be going on to the next one. So these are, okay, so what am I going to share here, right? It's more about whether or not the market is predictable. It's more about empowerment. Some examples of what I will share with my clients is that you look into the Asian financial crisis, the dot-com and the Lehman Brothers, right? All these are what we call external what? External factors causing prices to fall or prices to drop. Now, in 2013, right, this is actually government measures. All right, government measures is internal and it's able to control. All right, if you look at it from 2013 till now, right, our price drop, right, in all fairness, all right, our price drop, in all fairness, has it been due to any external factors at all? Totally. If we understood what has happened since 2013 till now, our price drop has nothing to do with how the market reacts. It's more about how the government measures came in and pressed down the prices or pressed down the demand. Now, even in this current COVID situation in the last 2 years, our prices are still ongoing strongly. And this means that the demand is actually real. The demand is actually true. Okay, because we are cutting out a lot of foreigner buyers, PR buyers, but again, we are seeing a lot of local purchasers, be the Singaporeans or the PRs. We are seeing foreigners buying even without viewing. So again, what is happening to the price in Singapore generally now is more predictable, it's more controllable versus today in the Asian financial crisis, the dot-com, or even the Lehman Brothers collapse. All these are a little bit more unpredictable. And that itself, right, you can see that in most cases, our recovery is a V-shaped recovery. In most cases. Why do I say that? Except for the dot-com and the SARS duration, this is hand in hand. So this dragged out to a U-shaped recovery. Okay, the dot-com crash immediately follows suit by the SARS period. This is why for the period of 2000s to maybe 2003, 2004, the market took a U-shaped recovery instead of an immediate V-shaped recovery. Okay, so you take a look, you will have understood. All right, Ken? Now, jumping into the kind of savings plan that we are going to talk about. Now, for this savings plan, generally why we are moving this mindset, especially in today's market, you see how Kelvin Fong is talking about, right? We are using this word called step up property, all right, or step up upgrade. Okay, the whole idea of this step up, of this progression, is not so much about just investment. It's also more of savings. Today, a 500K HDB flat after 30 years is still going to become 500K, assuming that no value has dropped over 30 years. And when you sell at 500K in 30 years, that is your retirement account. That's your bank. Okay. I have a question. Where can you get the chart from? This chart is actually from data.gov over here. Kenneth, what's the difference between a V-shaped recovery and a U-shaped recovery? V-shaped recovery means that today, right, the market itself pick up almost immediately. All right, whereby a U-shaped recovery, because of certain external factors, like I said, the dot-com crash came together with the SARS. That means right after dot-com, SARS came into the picture. So instead of recovering steeply, right, it didn't recover steeply. It took a U-shaped recovery. There. This is a U-shaped recovery. This is a V-shaped recovery. Okay, I don't know whether you can see, but I think this is quite self-explanatory. Okay, correct. U-shape takes a longer time. All right, but in this case, like I said, why so? Because dot-com and SARS came in together. It took a longer time for the country to adapt, for people to start purchasing, the confidence in purchasing. Okay? So back to this, the different kind of savings plan is rather a step up itself, right? Currently a 500k HDB, in 30 years will still be a 500k HDB. All right, if you took a route of a private property, okay, at maybe 1.5 mil, assuming I buy up to 1.5 mil, 30 years, it's also 1.5 mil, assuming no change. Now, your retirement funds are vastly different. We are talking about a $1 million difference between the two kinds of property. All right, so this itself, right, may not mean that I need to make money from a property. I just step up into my property. This is something that I very strongly agree. You spend what you see. Okay? You save what you don't see. Okay? So this is something I always tell my clients. Why must you put your money into property or whatever investment that you have, right? Generally, we are human. We are quite, we tend to spend. All right. So again, you spend what you always see. That means the money that you see, but you save what you can't see or you don't see. All right. So this is something that I can tell you that when you say this to your clients, they will understand the need of upscaling their property or step up from their current property. So when I always tell my HDB upgraders, so today, even if you want to buy a resale property, it doesn't matter. Most importantly is by doing this upgrade. This private property at 1.5 mil, all right, will still be worth 1.5 mil, maybe 30 years down the road, 20 years down the road, it will still be about the same. But assuming for HDB at 500,000, 30 years down the road, let's say 500,000, is 500,000 enough to feed you when it comes to retirement? Other than the fact that you also have your own savings, yes. But today, which position do you want to be? 500k when you sell or 1.5 mil when you sell? Okay, so this savings plan is letting the clients understand it's what? Shifting from an investor mindset into a savings mindset. So it's a shift of mindset, all right, from investors to saving. Okay, and again, right, you want to make the client feel that today, all right, so again, these people will always have this kind of notion. I'm very scared. You ask me invest in property. What if the thing collapses or whatever it is? All right, it's actually a low risk savings plan because today, whatever that you are buying is tangible. And actually, property provides multiple streams of income. All right, 2 streams are to be exact. All right, 2 streams of income. One is rental, one is capital appreciation. And another thing is leverage. Okay, another thing is leverage. For 200,000, you'll be purchasing something for 1 mil, example. Okay, or 250,000, you'll be purchasing something for 1 mil. This is leverage. Whatever investment that you'll be buying is $1 for $1. You put in 250, you are not guaranteed a $1 million value. All right, you put in 250, you loan, you leverage on the loan, you are getting a $1 million value. All right, so these are the 3 main things that I will talk about in any idea, in any form of investment itself. This provides 2 streams of income, one from capital appreciation, one from rental. And the next thing that we want to understand is leverage. All right, so these are the 3 things. Okay, so this technique that we are covering now is known as the 3 Ps technique. Okay, so what are the 3 Ps technique? All right, again, it's passive income, principal income, and profit. Okay, guys, important: passive, principal, profit. These are the 3 Ps. Okay, and how do we calculate the 3 Ps? Okay, so assuming that the down payment is 200,000. Okay, this is not important. Rental at $4,000, interest at $1,000, principal at $2,000, passive income at $1,000. Okay. What is the saving of this particular buyer over 5 years? Okay, guys, take about 2 to 3 minutes to work on this calculation, and then we will give me your answer in the chat. All right, 5 years. Let's go. Okay, so there are different answers. Okay, wait. Alfred, I'll answer you later. We look at the numbers first. All right, the actual answer is actually 180,000. Assume 5 years plan. Rental is at $4,000. Total principal is 2,000 times 12 times 5, you get 120. Total passive is 1,000 times 12 times 5 is 60. So total savings is actually 180,000. So in this case, we will be getting about 180K in total savings. All right. Sorry. Hold on. All right, Alfred, to answer your question, now, today you have to understand, yes, you need to minus maintenance fee and property tax. In all fairness, Karim, whatever that you all do, be it a property that you own, stay and everything, you still need to pay for maintenance. You still need to pay for property tax. You cannot work your calculation to every dollar and cents down to the every penny that you're gonna save. All right. So if you're gonna do that, trust me, your clients that you'll be getting is gonna be like that as well. Jean, I didn't consider interest expense as savings. If you realize, right, the interest is $1,000, so it's already calculated as it's already taken away in this calculation. I'm only focused on two things: the principal and the passive payment. Okay, the passive income. So I have not considered interest as a savings itself. So don't get me wrong. All right, capital appreciation. In this case, I assume even at zero capital appreciation, assuming I buy a resale at this current juncture, let's say there's no capital appreciation, I will still save 180,000. But if I want to be safe about it, assuming that the resale capital appreciation is about 2% per annum, 5 years down the road is 10%. All right, you still can do all this calculation into it. So another thing that we can actually use, all right, is actually our PA app. There's a few questions. Later on, I'll go into the PA app. Gilbert, your question is what is passive? Passive income is there is a profit from this particular rental. You rent at $4,000, you pay off $1,000 to interest, you pay off $2,000 to interest, there is an additional $1,000 that you earn as passive income. All right, so in this case, passive is the profit. All right, so that is what passive means. All right, can hold on. Okay, so why do we talk about these three P's? Again, right, Alfred, your question is why do we have to shift this mentality? All right, generally, right, there are some people who always feel that investment is a huge risk. All right, whenever we talk about investment, right, we will be thinking, wow, the risk factor is very, very huge. But actually, a lot of people don't realize that property investment itself, right, in terms of the coming into, right, that means your upfront payment, right, your money itself is actually very affordable, and it's a form of savings itself. So a lot of time, right, because you think that, hey, I put in the down payment, it's a huge amount, it's amount that is supposedly lost. But you have to understand that you didn't lose this amount of down payment, you didn't lose it at all. All right, what you did, right, was you actually only shifted it from one bank savings into your property. All right, so you shifted your money into something that is more tangible. Hence the idea that today, when we shift it to a savings mindset, right, it's actually something that is easier to pitch to your clients. All right, Alfred, does that answer your question? Alfred? All right, awesome. Okay, so moving forward, right? Next one. The next one that we want to focus on, it's actually this thing called OPM. Okay? So OPM, okay, what you all understand from OPM? What is OPM? All right, so OPM, somebody answered, is other people's money. So in this case, right, other people's money, OPM, is to use other people's money to save money for yourself. Okay? So the thing about it is that when we talk about OPM, okay, yes, the only amount that you put in for this is actually the initial down payment. Okay? You are leveraging on the bank loan. You are leveraging on other people's money for rental. Yes, Audrey, you're right. So you are leveraging on a lot of payment by other people, or in this case, the bank, to then allow you to actually upgrade in future. Hold on. However, clients often argue there are plenty of unseen expenses. Blah, 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 blah. So Alfred, your question with regards to that 180K minus off all the expenses. Let's be very fair lah. Even if I minus all the expenses, 30 to 40,000, you go and calculate for 5 years, 30 to 40,000, it's more than enough. So 180K, even if I minus 30 to 40,000 of expenses, not a lot, man. I don't know about you lah, but 180K if I minus 30 to 40K for expenses and maintenance and whatnot, right? I'm still left with about 140K to 130K. So unless you tell me 130 to 140 is not a lot of money, then probably rental income tax, how much difference? How much is rental income tax? All right, even if I add in property tax, okay, at 10%, all right, even if I add in rental income tax, all right, that 5 years, 40,000, okay, to 50,000. Let's say I give you 50,000, you're left with 130,000. All right, is it not enough? Is it something, unless you tell me that there is something else that can give you this kind of returns, all right, then of course you can go for it. Again, then you don't buy property, you buy something else to cover back or to make this amount of money in 5 years. All right, so again, right, it's very subjective, okay? Often than not, if I'm met with clients like that who tell me, hey, there's property tax, maintenance fee, and whatever it is, right? Yes, Catherine, it is this, but it's fine as well. I really feel like today, even if I give them a 50K allowance, there will still be 130K, unless you tell me you save 130K in 5 years, or you can make 130K in investment in 5 years. All right, yes, then please go ahead. So, Mr. Client, sometimes when they want to challenge you this is because they think too much about the nitty-gritty. Any form of investment has its trade-off. Even if today I don't have maintenance fee, I don't have rental income tax. Let's say I invest in stocks. The trade-off today will not be all this expensive. The trade-off today is the risk, okay, that is involved. All right, so I feel that no matter what you are doing, regardless, Mr. Client, you need to understand. I understand that there is other forms of investment that can yield you results. And I also understand property is something that I'm familiar with. It will yield you a certain kind of results. But both of them have different risk factor. Property is risk mitigation. Whereas today, if you are talking about other forms of investment like stocks or more higher risk investment, then you're not mitigating away the risk. So that is what I usually tell my clients. But again, I do encourage you to make other forms of investment. At the same time, property will be your safer investment. If today you want to rent, you can rent. If you want to stay, you can stay. And you want to hold for 10 years, you want to rent for 10 years, you are definitely going to cover back and do make some money from this property. All right? Because I can tell you, if you have clients who tell you today they're negative sale, all right? Recently, I met a client from Lin Residences. at Potong Pasir. So his property, they didn't make money. But actually for the last 5 years, right, they calculated everything, including whatever expenses. They still made about 80 to 100K net profit. If they sell at their break-even price, or they sell at a price that they bought, right, they still make about 80 to 100K. So that itself, right, to me, is the saving grace that if today, at the end of the day, the rental itself can still cover and they still allow them to make. Because what he's making on two fronts. Not only is he making based on the rental, he's making based on the principal. That means the money that is supposedly paid to the bank as principal payment, all right, the tenants are paying for it. So this is also a form of earning. This is also a form of payment. Okay? So that itself, right, is something that I will use, Alfred, if that helps. Because I've learned this. I was like, I was very skeptical also, meaning to say that I will go and count down to the every last dollar and cents. Then I will tell them, hey, okay, so it does this. Then does it make sense? Then I realized one thing, it doesn't, because laws of attraction is very real. When I was too focused on the nitty-gritty of things, right, the clients that I'm getting, right, are also overly focused on this nitty-gritty. At the end of the day, they say, okay, then I invest in stocks. And I realized one thing, they invested in stocks. So some of my clients, right, who in the past when I was so calculative, they invested in stocks. At the end of the day, 3 to 4 years later, they came back to me. They tell me, hey, Bryan, I should have just put my money into real estate. Why? Because they lost money in stocks. Okay, so again, right, I cannot say that it's bad. I cannot say that it's good. There are all forms of investment, but today, know how to diversify your portfolio. And Mr. Client, I'm here to settle your property portfolio. If you have other forms of investment in other portfolios, please go ahead. So this is something that I want to help y'all use so that y'all can overcome your clients. All right, so you don't have to worry too much. All right, when they ask you, hey, then how about other things? I'm not familiar with other instruments, but property is something I'm familiar with. Okay. Now, so going into OPM, other people's money. Okay, so what do we want to do in other people's money, right? It's to use other people's money to save for yourself. From that itself, you can already see rental, leveraging on the bank, putting in $250 to get the value of $1 million. So these are all what we call OPM. Hold on. All right, these are what we all call OPM, other people's money. Okay, so in this case, using 200K to multiply into two properties, no longer we can take 200K. I have to update my site. It's 250K. Okay, 250K to multiply into two properties. Okay, this is something that can be done. So generally, right, what we used to do, it's we buy properties. In this case, right, last time we still can buy husband and wife. Two names, and then after that we do OPM or we do gearing in order to get out the differences, and then we buy the next property. But in this case, right, most of our launches now a little bit difficult. What we are doing today is we will probably purchase in one name. All right, after we purchase in one name already, then in 3 to 4 years when the property price increase, we then do a gearing, and we take out the money. And then we purchase another property. Okay, so that itself, I think, is something that is covered in Kelvin's slide itself or Kelvin's training. So that is something that we need to understand, that today when we do this, it's no longer like the past. I can use husband and wife name to purchase, then I do gearing, take out the money, buy another property. No. So now I probably have to purchase under husband's name. After that, after the 3 to 4 years when the property price increase, I do a gearing. Then I were to buy under wife name. Okay? Hold on. Now, the next thing that we need to understand, in this case, right, the property, okay, so when you all went through gearing, how many of you still remember how gearing looks like? All right, how many of you still remember gearing? 99 one. This is not 99 one. It's a bit different, Faris. So this is gearing. Gear amount is, okay, so it's not 80% anymore. It's actually 75% of the new value minus outstanding loan minus CPF refund. In this case, 1 mil minus take out money from current property without having to sell. Yes, Alfred, that's correct. All right. If I'm not wrong, this has been run through by Kelvin, right? Yes. Hello. Yep. Okay. So now, that depends if there's outstanding loan or how much is the outstanding loan. Yes, I agree. Now, in this case, right, what I want to share is that in a lot of clients today, right, we use a few methods. All right, gearing has died down. There's a reduction on the people using gearing already. Mostly now people buy under 99.1% for new launch. If not, we actually decouple for the cases that I'm dealing with now. For decoupling, right, this is a lot of EC owners that I have met with. They actually have enough money for decoupling. That means all the ECs like that just MOP, Waterwoods, Ecopolitan, Twin Waterfall, all these ECs, right? A lot of couples, right, they are already decoupling. So this gearing method is still useful. It's still useful because you gear out in cash, all right? And you're still using other people's money. But in fact, right, decoupling itself, right, can also allow people to take out money, all right? Have you all gone through a decoupling session already? Have you all gone through a decoupling session? Yes or no? Okay, so what am I gonna go into, right? It's just something quicker, quickly. So I want to go through with you how decoupling looks like. Okay, how decoupling looks like here. Okay, so assuming that we are buying 1 million, all right, I know there's a calculator for it, but the thing about it is that when we use the calculator, right, we lose the essence of understanding. We lose the essence of understanding how decoupling really works. All right, so assuming a $1 million property, you have to understand one thing. Decoupling is about what? Decoupling is about being able to break out into two entities. All right. The common misconception is that husband and wife is one entity. Yes. So husband and wife, they are one entity. Okay. Now it's about breaking them up into two separate entities, and these entities are seller and buyer. Okay, in this case, right, once you're able to understand that there are two separate entities altogether, seller and buyer, you will then understand that each of them have their own calculation. So a 1 mil property, right, is divided by 2. Okay, so the seller's value is 500K, the buyer's value is 500K. Now, in this case, there's an outstanding loan. Assuming outstanding loan is 200,000, it also has to be divided by 2. Okay, it also has to be divided by 2. So in this case, right, each outstanding loan becomes 100K each. All right, everybody clear so far? 100K each. So for a seller, right, okay, in this case, assuming that the husband is selling, all right, husband is selling, the wife is buying, you'll need to see, at 500,000, the husband's share is 100K for the outstanding loan minus 100K, assuming the husband utilized 100K in CPF plus accrued interest. All right, in this case, the husband gets to cash out 300K. Okay, this is a seller's calculation. Up to this point, is everybody clear? All right, so for the husband to cash out, minus away the outstanding loan, minus away his CPF utilized, you get 300K of cash from this property. All right, everybody following? Can I move on? All right, I'll move on. So as a buyer, all right, in this case, the wife is buying over the husband's share. I will have to use 500K to calculate the value itself. And at 500K, right, what is the value? Okay. At 500K, I have to buy over the value. The wife have to take a loan of 75%. Okay, the wife have to take a loan at 75%. In this case, 75% of 500K is actually 375K. All right. 20% is actually CPF. In this case, 20% is actually 100,000. And lastly, the 5% cash is actually 25K. On top of that, right, there are certain things from CPF deductible. Stamp duty is the one. This is at 500,000 times 3% minus 5,004. In this case, it's $9,600. Next one is actually the legal fee is 3,000. And the 20% payment over here, it's 100K. So assuming the wife has enough, assuming the wife current OA got 150,000, all right, which means that the wife have enough to then pay off this entire sum. The only cash portion is only the 5%, 25K. Now, this is considered a left pocket, right pocket. It has to be a transaction. All right, it has to be a transaction or transactional in this case. So 25,000 is the exercise fee, the 1% and the 4%, 25,000. Now, the wife will have a new loan of 375K plus 100K. From the old loan you brought forward, the total new loan is 475K. All right, you might be asking, hey, my initial outstanding was 200K. How come now become 475K? Again, this is a form of leverage. Because you managed to cash out, the husband managed to refund the CPF and get a cash out of 300,000 cash. So actually, that is where the money went to, if you ask me. All right, this is where the money goes to. You can do it simply by reducing your loan. You can take the cash and reduce the loan amount to a lower amount. If not, alternatively, I will just carry on. I will usually ask my clients to take up this full loan, use the money from the cash outright to then buy the next property. All right, and in this case, whatever they're doing, right, they have not touched their own savings. All right, so there's two things to take note of. The legal fee combined for decoupling usually is about $6,000 to $7,000. All right, whereas again today, right, the loan, okay, the loan will be increased. All right, you need to add the new loan with the old loan. The new loan and the old loan you need to add together. And of course, in this case, right, they have to meet TDSR. They must be able to then take up this loan. All right. Up to now, any questions? Is it clear? Can repeat the last part about the 375K? Yes. All right. So again, because the wife bought over a 500K share, so she has to take up a new loan of 375,000. So this new loan of 375,000 will be brought over and combined with the previous loan of 100K, which is why in this case, the new loan will become 475. How do I get stamp duty of 9,006? 3% times 500K minus 5,004. Is it wrong? No, right? Sunny, you want to make me doubt myself, eh? No, ma, correct, Am I wrong? 500,000 multiplied by 3% minus 5,004. No, 9,006, I'm correct, Yes, Catherine. Yeah, Catherine, you can only use the wife CPF because now officially the house is only under the wife name. All right, Leon, in this case, you loan more than 75% with, no, it's a refi basically. Repeat my 375 again. All legal fee can use CPF. Yes for the buying, no for the selling. The selling has to use cash. Okay. No, husband is not the owner. I already sold the husband share. The husband name is now free to buy another property, Catherine. Okay. Repeat my 375 again. Okay? I will do it one more time. So again, I'm selling 500K of share. All right. At 500K of share, the wife has to take up a 375K loan amount, 75%. And because I take out a 375K loan amount, I'm not forgetting I still have to add in my previous loan of 100,000, making the total loan to be 475. All right, that is how I got my 375K. All right, it's the loan amount of the 500,000, the half share of the husband. Yes, decouple means remove ownership. Thank you, Audrey. Okay, any more questions? All right, this one I'll leave it more in depth for Kelly to be sharing tomorrow. But why I want to do this, because decoupling to me, right, y'all can punch in the numbers in the calculator, but if y'all don't understand how it works, all right, it's very difficult for you to explain decoupling to your client and where is the money moving and how is the money moving. So by looking into this, you can see clearly a decoupling is actually a selling of shares from one party to the other party, right? Ken? Okay, so if no questions, yes, TDSR applies to this portion, the 375K. The 100K, the total amount they must take is 475. So TDSR applies. So the wife have to be able to take up the full loan of 475K under the TDSR measures. Okay? Do I charge for decoupling advice? No, not at all. I don't charge for decoupling, but you can. You'll be the first. But again, usually when they decouple, they buy through me, so it really doesn't matter. All right, Paul, one question. What question? Paul, gearing and decoupling can work at the same time, but it's a little bit complicated timeline. So best to speak to a law firm and the banker at the same time to see how can they do this effectively together. No, you can refi under the same bank, Gilbert. Lisa, if wife no income, decoupling won't work. Yes, if wife no income, they cannot take up the loan at all, so decoupling won't work. Then maybe you can consider gearing. Okay, Jane, how to charge agent fee? In this case, when I do decoupling or I suggest decoupling to them, I won't charge them an agent fee for this method unless they are looking to sell. But after they decouple, they definitely have to buy something, and that is where I come in. So usually for decoupling, right, if you want to be very, very safe, you just sign a buyer's exclusive to make sure that they stay with you for the purchasing. All right, that's what you can do. Wife new loan is an old loan of... No, Michael. Wife new loan is not 500K. Wife new loan is 375 plus 100K. The old loan was 200,000 200,000 200,000 divided by 2, the old loan is only 100K. The new loan is 375. So the total is 375K plus 100K only. It's not 500 plus 475. No, both seller and buyer must be using different law firm. They cannot be using the same law firm. It's a conflict of interest. Okay. Legal process, the timeline takes about 3 months, 2 to 3 months, effectively 2 to 3 months, the legal process. But the moment they sign the SMP, it can be as fast as 2 to 3 days. You can purchase the next property already. Not even 2 weeks. You can buy it within 2 to 3 days. The process and the progress takes 2 to 3 months, yes. But if you are purchasing the paper, once it's signed, the day that you sign it, in the 2 to 3 days, you kickstart by going to a law firm telling them you're a decouple. They kickstart the paperwork. The day you sign the paperwork, about 2 to 3 days later, is as good as the day you can actually proceed to purchase your new property. All right. Can? All right, if no question, the time now it's 11:40. Can we come back by 11:45? All right, and then I go into my next lesson. Can Hi guys. Sorry, I still see a few questions. If outstanding is high, 600K will be difficult to decouple. If your outstanding is high, 600K, then we really have to see the value of the property. If the value of the property is more than $1 million, then it depends. So you can calculate accordingly. You go and calculate, you go and take the numbers, then you calculate. All right, so Hui Zhen, your question is, so husband and wife buy 1 million property together? No. The property may have bought the property for like 700,000-800,000, and the value of 1 million, right, is the current value of the property. Don't get it wrong. So the current value of the property is $1 million. So always use the current value, not the previous purchase value. All right. So the current value, maybe you buy 800K, it may be 1 mil now, it may be 1.2 mil now. So it depends on what is the current valuation of the property. All right. So Hui Chen understand, huh? Okay, don't get it wrong, huh? Yeah, give you all 5 minutes break, you all never go break on, you all ask question. Okay, anyway, 11:45 ready. Is everybody back? If everybody is back, give me a 9, please, so that I know everybody is back. All right, good. Hui Chen, so Happy bought. Yeah, correct. Correct. In this case, yes. Okay, Monica, you have a question. Why is gearing up less used now? All right. Generally, right, because of ABSD, I would say so. In the past, right, gearing is often used because I can own the property in husband and wife name, and then I can gear up the amount. I can still purchase the next property in husband and wife name. All right. Legally, okay, I want to make it clear for something. Gearing or equity term loan cannot be used to purchase property. All right, that is what it was. That is the legality of equity term loan. You cannot use to buy property. All right, but the loophole is you can get out the amount and then you buy in another person's name. All right, in the past, really is because you do equity term loan, you can just use husband and wife to buy the next property or to use maybe your parents' name to buy one property. So in the past, people use gearing more often. But now because of ABSD, even if they get up the amount already, it doesn't make sense to buy in either name because if they both own the property, then there's still ABSD. So generally, the go-to method is really more decoupling than gearing. All right, I hope it answers your question, Monica. All right. So coming back to the lesson proper, it's actually SAUE, save as you earn. Okay, again, when we talk about save as you earn, the objective of SAUE, right, is really using as little money as you can to seed for profits in 5 years, high capital appreciation, lower risk entry. All right, this is applicable to new launches. And in this case, right, why is new launches something that today you can use for little money? Of course, yes, the down payment is similar. All right, the down payment is similar. For $1 million property, you're still going to down pay $250,000. All right, but the monthly installment is vastly different. So if you look at the monthly installment, right, you are using very little as you age up towards TOP. And the good thing about new launches is that you start the seller stamp duty on exercise date. So actually, right, upon the issuance of TOP, okay, in this case, the issuance of TOP, at this rate, you see the star, at this rate, you can already sell. And when you sell, right, you realize that the monthly installment that you have been paying so far, all right, is actually very little. And this itself, right, allows you to seed for good profits in 4 years. That means over the course of 4 years, there is no property tax, there is no income tax, there's no other taxes. This is a good way for you to build your investment. And generally, this is more short-term, 3 to 5 years. All right. If you are using it purely for investment, 3 to 5 years, you can exit. And these are examples that we can see. And I'm going to show you a good example of what I always use. All right. Jumping back into, let's see. Hold on. Let me stop my screen share. Hold on. I'm going into each prop now. Give me 1 minute. Okay. So can y'all see what's on my screen now? Can y'all see HPROP? Yes? No? Okay, very good. All right, so if you are looking at what I'm looking now on screen, I always like to use compare projects. And usually what I like to talk about, right, it's some developments. I understand that our boss Kelvin used Commonwealth Towers, the Queens a lot. So I'm going to use this, but I'm going to teach you how to use it differently. All right, Commonwealth Towers, Queens. If today I'm doing new launch comparison to a resale comparison and also a freehold comparison, Alexis is also in the area. It's also relatively near to the MRT, but it's freehold. All right, they're all in the same vicinity. If I were to use a street directory and show you, okay, so this is how I run my presentation. I will open up street directory and I'll go into HPROP immediately. So example, if I'm going into Queens. Okay, so what I will show them is, hey, Mr. Buyer, you take a look. So this is Queens. This is directly at Queenstown MRT. There's Commonwealth Towers that is directly opposite over here. Okay, also near the MRT itself. And lastly, I have another development right here called the Alexis that is actually near to Queens. Can y'all see Alexis? Can at Merino Crescent. This is Alexis. All right. So these are the three properties that I'm going to use as a comparative. So Mr. Buyer, today you need to understand Commonwealth Towers, Queens, and Alexis. All right, I'm going to change this to custom set it to the current date. Now is July 2021. And I'm looking back to as far as January 1995. So if I were to refresh this comparisons, all right, what I'll be getting is actually a chart. All right, and this is the chart that I want you all to focus on. Okay, so this chart here, when I first show you, this is Queens. All right, from Queens, you all can understand that today, this itself is good growth if you bought it early. But if you realize one thing that Queens, if today I buy somewhere in 2012, it's going for about 1.3 or 1.3 to 1.2 per square foot. Let's say 2012, I'll be buying 1.381 per square foot in 2012. But even in today's market, even if I bring it here, the highest now is 1.369. Technically, right, it is stagnant over this entire duration. However, right, if I look into this, I look into Alexis, which this is a freehold property. And I notice, again, the freehold property that is bought before 2013. All right, what happened in 2013 is cooling measures, right? What happened post-cooling measures are the smaller development, freehold developments, they suffer a lot because their prices drop significantly or they stay relatively stagnant. All right, this is due to the ABSD that was implemented. So in Singapore, right, this, if you ask me, the historical game changer, it's not so much of the economical crisis. It's more of the ABSD and the cooling measures added that caused the prices to reflect in a different way. So in this case, the freehold property Alexis, the prices went up when they first bought. In 2012 or 2013, if I were to buy Alexis, I'll be buying in at 1.266 per square foot. And if I'm buying now, Alexis at $1,500 per square foot in 2013. Currently, right, it's about 1.821. But actually, right, post 2014, when the prices start to drop, right, over here, the price from there till now has dropped quite significantly. The recent transaction only at 1.370 per square foot. All right, you all can see it so far. Now, the next one that you want to compare is Commonwealth Towers. In 2013, Commonwealth Towers, you all bought in for 1.654 or 2014 June. Okay, currently till date they are at 1.913 per square foot. Okay, you all can see almost a $200 plus to $300 per square foot gains. And of course, their peak was at even as high as $2,000 per square foot. Now, Mr. Buyer, if today I were to put the Queens as a comparison, in 2013 or 2014, if let's say you all decided that you all want to buy, okay, can you all see ignore what is going to happen at the back. If in 2014 May, can you all see now that today, if you all decide to buy Commonwealth Tower, which is how much? Almost $300 over per square foot difference from the Queens. As buyers, let's be very fair. As buyers, which will you all buy? Commonwealth Towers or the Queens? Mr. Buyer, can you all tell me? Commonwealth Towers or the Queens? Come, give me an answer. All right, I don't want you all to think as an agent. I want you all to think as a consumer. Which property will you all buy? Commonwealth Towers or the Queens? Let's be very fair. So most buyers would have answered me exact same thing. I will buy the Queens. Mr. Buyer, very good. You all will buy Queens because Queens is cheap. But if you all want to make money, you all want to have a capital appreciation quicker. All right. So in 2014, if you all to buy, tell me, let's say you all want to sell in 2019, 5 years. If your holding period is 5 years. In 2019, if I decided to sell, same thing. Hey, Mr. Buyer, I ask you, if you bought Queens in 2014 and in 5 years you want to sell Queens again, do you make money at 128 per square foot? Do you make money at all for the Queens? You didn't. But today, right, if you have bought Commonwealth Towers at 1618 per square foot average, if you sell at the peak, it can go up to 19 or $2,000 per square foot, assuming majority are selling 19, not 2,000, 18 to 19. You're making $200 plus to $300 per square foot in a 5 years duration. Now, Mr. Buyer, you have to understand, today all our plans are different. But because you tell me you want to exit quicker, you want to exit in the 3 to 5 years mark. So which kind of property should you be buying? Should you be buying properties like Queens or should you be buying properties like Commonwealth Towers? Can you tell me now? All right, if given the opportunity again, which one will you all be buying? Commonwealth Towers or the Queens? All right, so you all can see today, right, a lot of you all need to understand in order to share about this kind of market knowledge. All right, don't just tell them, oh, this one will make more money, new launch will make more money. Let them understand first, today, why the market is not moving. Post 2013, right, all the older 99 years, all the smaller freehold properties are not making as much due to the implementation of cooling measures. Why the newer properties will still have a growth spurt? Because this is human nature. We are creature that we tend to want to buy something newer. This is us. And the younger generations always prefer something newer than something older. All right? So that is something that you need to be able to bring across, the buyer mentality and the buyer's mindset. So in order when you are showing this to your clients, right, you need to let them understand that if today, side by side, even if you have something old versus something new, the new property will still make money. All right? And this can be said, right, even in cocoa palms. If I want to compare, right, I can even compare cocoa palms, for example. Livia, NV Residences. These are in Pasir Ris. All right, same thing, same customization, refresh portfolio. Sorry, oh yeah, I forgot about Alexis. So Alexis is freehold and the price dropped over time. So those of your clients, right, who were looking into Alexis or were looking into freehold developments, right, you show how they run in comparison to a brand new 99 years. All right, so Alexis being a freehold property, right, it didn't do well post 2013, 2014. How can you find percent? Wow, I cannot find the percentage of own stay versus tenant for resale condo. All right, you can find foreigners or HDB upgraders. Yes, I can, but I cannot find own stay and tenant. That one you really have to go and count. Okay, so in this case, right, I can show you also Cocoa Palms, MV Residences, Livia. Cocoa Palms make money. Can you all see? Cocoa Palms make money. It's the newest of the plot. All right. Although yes, I know their leasehold is shorter than Dines, but Cocoa Palms did make money because it's new. All right, because it's the newest of the lot. Livia, they made money. They increased price up to 1 point. Post 2013, their prices dropped. Now the prices pick up again. But I can tell you, these people who bought in then, they bought in cheap, but they didn't make money. All right, so this was Livia. This comparison, if I were to compare Livia with Coco Pumps, at that point of time, people who decided to buy Livia because it was ready versus people who decided to buy Coco Pumps, you can see the disparity. Coco Pumps owners still make money. All right, can you all see so far? Same thing for MV Residences. Your storyline is the same. In fact, at this current juncture, people who bought MV Residences who didn't want to wait and they bought it more expensive, in fact, they are the ones suffering now. The price disparity has gone up. Their price disparity now is close to $300 to $400 per square foot. Versus initially when they're buying, they're about the same price or slightly lower price for Coco Pumps initially. And looking at how the movement of it now, right, you can see Coco Pumps actually made the most money out of these three properties. All right. So that is how I will compare SAUE. What will likely happen with PR8 launch? PR8 launch, then PR8 will still make money. PR8 will still make money because PR8, any buyers that is going to buy PR8 in the resale market, ladies and gentlemen, people will still buy. Why? Because it's an integrated, because it's so convenient. You can tell me Coco Pump also very convenient, but people are lazy. People will always buy things that is the most convenient, which explains why integrated resorts will make money in the next 5 to 8 years. All right, in the upcoming 5 to 8 years, right, when PR8 is ready, when Sengkang Grand is ready, you will start to see the spike in all this property. One good example is our North Park. All right, Yishun selling at $1,300 per square foot when they first launched to how it is selling now at $1,600, $1,700 per square foot. To me, right, that is how it proves that people will buy integrated due to emotion. So PR8 launch, PR8 will still make money. All right, that is the general direction and general guideline, and it will still triumph Coco Pump. Compass Height not really making money. Not really. Compass Height people making money. Where it's only when you bought Compass Height. All right, you can even see. I just put it inside. You can see already. So all this, right? Later, please go and play around. If you all have it, go and play around with the compare projects. Okay. Why never make money? Make money, make a lot of money. During the initial phase when they bought, all of them make money. Same thing for PR8. They are gonna make money. If you are buying in this Saturday, you will stand to make money. All right. They are not making money because these are the people who bought resale subsequently. Okay, and you can see when it starts to stagnate, right, is 2012 onwards. When the implementation of cooling measures come in post 2012, 2013. The prices remain relatively stagnant. You can see this is a very common trend in a lot of resale property. All right, go and play around. You all will see. Okay, Ken? So far, so good. So this is why when we talk about SAUE, right, it's important because generally when you are buying in early, you are actually putting in very little money and you sit for profit over 4 years. Okay, and that is where you will be making your money from launch to now. Same thing, if I go back to this, right, and we see from launch till now, in 2001, did they make money? All right, did they make money? Okay. Sandy, some buyers asking you, is it guaranteed can make money for all new launches? All right, I would say yes, but I would say how much? Okay. Again, some of these new launches are not making too much money. The earliest buyers tend to make the most, whereby the subsequent buyers, I mean, they will still make money, but their holding period might be longer. So it really depends. For the purchase, right, the entry, right, if you are like PR8 this Saturday, you are buying, you are the first few buyers to buy in. All right, I would say that you stand a very, very good chance to make money. If you are the back-end buyers, that means like Kingsford Water Bay, those who bought at the tail end of Kingsford Water Bay, when the developer increased the margin by quite a bit, they don't make money now. All right, so they might have to hold longer. All right, so it's not guaranteed that, I cannot guarantee you, but I can say that you're going to make money. It's just how long you're holding. But if you're buying the earliest, I would say you will make money. Okay? One Amber is a unique project, Aline. One Amber as a resale, they make money. All right, One Amber is a project that is why I say it makes money. You have to understand the characteristics of One Amber. They are located in a very prestigious district. On top of that, they are freehold and they are big developments. So you can see, right? Even then, the trend line from 2014, they picked up after 2018. They went up to a new peak, but now it's a current drop. All right, the prices drop, and they are maintaining about 1,700 per square foot. Okay, $1,700 per square foot thereabouts. But they did make money, and you can see that they don't have a plateau. All right, they have different heights for One Amber. But again, you want to find a unit in One Amber, not very easy. Okay, versus Amber Park, I will still think that Amber Park will make money because it. Okay, why so? Even though Amber Park is more expensive than One Amber, they both possess the same quality. They are bigger developments, big size developments with good number of units, and they are freehold. All right, so these are qualities that will also help to increase the value proposition in future in the resale market. All right, so some of these properties for you all to go and compare. One Amber is making money. The Esta is making money. Signature Park in Totak is making money. All these are freehold big developments. They are all still making money. All right, even in the resale market. But just that their quantum now is a bit crazy. Okay, so these are some examples. All right, so coming back to this SAUE, generally you will start to see people making money post TOP or at TOP. All right, so next thing, the last thing that we want to cover because before I call it a day, we will be covering this thing known as risk management. So what is risk management? Hold on, sorry, give me 1 minute. Save as you earn, yes. The U is a short form, huh? The U is a short form. All right, thank you so much, Joel. Okay, so what exactly is risk management? All right, we're going to cover three things: stress test, cash reserve, and lowered risk entry. Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean by lowered risk entry. So today, right, if I want to make a comparison of all the OCR properties, example, let us refresh. Okay, so how can I determine what is a lowered risk entry? Assuming that today, right, I look into Florence residences. Okay, Riverfront for that matter, or Affinity. Same thing, I'm going to do a past comparison. And then we refresh the portfolio. Again, ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong. When I do this kind of comparison, it doesn't necessarily mean that the projects you cannot buy. You still can buy, provided you're buying at a very, very good price. All right. So when we are looking at Affinity and Florence and Riverfront, they are in the same location. What do I mean by lowered risk entry? Mr. Buyer, if today I were to ask you to buy Florence now, all right, you're going to come in at about $1,500 or $1,600, $1,700 per square foot. All right. So if you want to sell Florence, ladies and gentlemen, how do we sell Florence? Using this line, how should we be selling Florence? Florence price increment has gone up to as high as $1,600 plus per square foot. Today, if I can come in anything at $1,500, all right, or below $1,600 per square foot at $1,550 per square foot, can I still make money? Can I still make money if I come in at $1,550 per square foot? All right, what's your answer? Can I still make money? Yes or no? Yes, So even though price has increased at Florence, there are still units that are going for below $1,600 at $1,500 plus per square foot. This also means that today is a lower risk entry. When the project transacted has gone up the median line, you're still buying below the current prices of average pricing, then that itself would mean that you can buy into this project. All right. Next thing, if you want to do a comparison in the overall market segment, what can I buy now? All right. If I'm comparing project, if today I want to sell Affinity, then I use Florence. If today I want to sell Florence, then I won't use Affinity. You understand where I'm coming from? But the idea is very simple. If I use Affinity and I compare today, there's a gap. If I want to buy Affinity now at $1,500 per square foot, which is the market average price, you realize from day one in September 2018 all the way to May 2021, the prices remain relatively stagnant throughout this period of time. This means that today, can I say that it's a safe development to buy because the prices are very, very similar from the original prices. All right, so you can be buying into projects like that. But of course, if you ask me, what is lower risk entry? Which of these three is the easiest to enter and the lowest risk possible? All right, you want to make a guess? Out of these three, which would you all buy? All right, will you all buy Florence, Riverfront, or Affinity? In this case, right, if we look purely into numbers alone, Riverfront would stand the biggest gain because of the what? Because of the price disparity between Riverfront versus the rest of the development. But again, that being said, why is the other developments moving? They still have their own potential. Riverfront don't have many units to choose from. And that itself, right, Florence and Affinity, in this case, will have been a better choices as compared to Riverfront. So there are a few ways to talk about it. But yes, lower risk entry is about how we can make sure that our clients are entering at a lower risk. All right. Okay, Wei Jian. So in this case, Affinity prices did increase, but they didn't increase for the bigger units. That's why the overall average price remains relatively lower. Unlike Florence, right, the smaller units increase in price quite crazily. So this brings up the average pricing to quite a big number. So how to make money, if you're asking me, is today for Affinity at Serangoon, right? Gardens will be the better point of contact because Garden is selling at $1,600, $1,700 per square foot. So Affinity prices, if you can buy in at $1,500 per square foot, or even below that, if you are buying the bigger units, you can be even buying at $1,400 plus per square foot, you will confirm make money. Sandy, yes. For those of them who bought Affinity before the price drop in 2018, they're actually at a loss now. But if they hold it longer past Gardens, right, I would feel that Gardens are the ones that will bring back the initial owners of Affinity. So not saying that they will make a loss, they will probably not make a lot. Those who stand to make a lot are the people who buy in now. The post-price drop prices. All right, so that is what we will be doing as a lower risk entry. Okay, so there are people who are protecting our prices. That is what lower risk entry means. Okay. Now coming back, stress test. Okay, so what is stress test? Stress test is actually very simple. Nothing too crazy. Assuming that I'm buying a property and I'm renting it out. All right, my monthly installment. My money installment is maybe about $2,000, assuming. All right, how will I do stress test? Hey, Mr. Buyer, today your monthly installment is $2,000. Okay, your rental is $2,000. Any stress? Any stress, Mr. Buyer? 2,000 means net equals to 0. No top up. So no stress, huh? $0 means no stress, okay? Means that today you can afford to hold this property. However, if the rental drops to $1,800, Mr. Buyer, today you need to top up $200. All right? Is it something that's affordable and something that you can do? All right, so this is something that I will use as a stress test. Either rental dropping or monthly installment going up because of rising interest. But because our current situation, our interest is not rising, it's actually dropping. So more likely scenario is the rental dropping. All right, but again, in today's market, the rental is also very strong. So I doubt that it will drop. But assuming this, let's assume up to $1,500. $500. You top up $500. Mr. Buyer, is this something you can tahan? That's what I'll ask them. Mr. Buyer, is $500 too stressful for you? Or is $500 something that is too much for you? All right, so this is how we run through the stress test. All right, to test the availability of funds or the ability to cope in the event that the rental is lesser. All right, for a year or two. Usually I will do a year or two, 1 or 2 years. All right, because usually the situation gets better in a year or two. All right, so that itself is how we run through stress tests. Okay, so stress test is the ability to break, meaning to say what is your breaking point. And in this case, when is your breaking point? All right, in this case, when is your breaking point? Okay, usually I test up to $500 only. You all can try more. Okay, now then the next thing that we talk about is cash reserve. Now this is very important. This is when you are dealing with upgraders. Okay, when you are dealing with upgraders, right, generally what will happen is that they will sell their house. Okay, assuming CPF refund is 400K. CPF refund is 400K. Cash refund or cash reserve is or rather cash proceeds is 200K. Total, they are going to have 600K. All right. Assuming they bought something at 1.5 mil, how much down payment is required for 1.5 mil? Okay, at 1.5 mil, down payment is 29% minus 15,004. All right, 419,600 total. How much CPF, how much cash? Cash portion, I only require 75% based on, 75K based on 5%. All right. CPF portion is 1.5 mil times 20%. In this case, 300K. All right. Stamp duty, in this case, is also CPF portion. 1.5 mil times 4% minus 15,004. 44,600K. So in this case, right, CPF is required is 300,000. Stamp duty is 44,000. You are getting back 400K in CPF. All right, so there is no cash top up. So how much CPF reserve you have? 400K minus 300K minus 44,600. Your CPF reserve your CPF reserve would have $55,400. CPF reserve. Everybody is following so far? Can you all understand what's going on? Okay, this is your CPF reserve. Your cash reserve so far, how much is it? You got 200K of cash, you only require 75,000 cash. 200K minus 75K equals to 125K of cash. All right. I only require 5% of cash, which is 75,000. I have 200K of cash proceed. I take 200K minus 75K, I will have 125K of cash reserve. Okay. So can you all see how I get the different reserve? CPF reserve and cash reserve. Okay. Now, what do I want to calculate next? At 1.5 mil, my loan 75% is going to be, hold on. My loan at 1.5 mil times 75% is going to be 1.125 mil. Okay. How much am I going to pay per month? EMI, how much am I going to pay per month? Hold on, let me do a quick calculation. Assuming interest rate is 1.3%, loan tenure is 30 years. 75%, my monthly repayment is 3,776 per month. Okay, so monthly repayment 3776 per month. Assuming both husband plus wife equals working. All right, and I assume that their CPF is maxed out. That means every month their OA account has $2,400 coming into their account. This means that at 3776 minus $2,400 per month, they need to top up how much? They need to top up 3776 minus 2004. They have to top up $1,376 per month. Okay, so far everybody clear? At 1376 per month, where are they getting their reserve from? You add the cash reserve, they add the CPF reserve together. So 125K plus 55K 400 equals to 180,400 reserve fund. Okay, so what do I need to do now? I need to take, so assuming that the husband and wife, they are both working. So scenario A. Scenario A is husband and wife both working. CPF contribution is $2,400 per month into OA. Every month they need to top up 1376. What I need to do is I take 180 divided by 1376. It's going to last me for 131 months. Okay, 131 months is the safety net. Divided by 12, right, is actually 10 years. That means if they do this, assuming everything remains status quo, husband and wife is working, their CPF contribution is at $2,400 per month into their OA account, both, they can last for 10 years without topping up cash for this property. All right, this is cash reserve. This is reserve fund. This is scenario A. I will always run through scenario A and scenario B. If scenario B, it's one party don't work. So either husband working, wife no longer working. Okay? If husband working, wife not working, what will happen is that the OA contribution every month becomes $1,200. All right? So using your EMI of 3776 minus $1,200, they need to top up 2576 per month. Okay? They need to top up 2576 per month. And in this case, I use the same set of calculation, 180,400 divided by 2576. I'm getting 70 months. Sorry, hold on. I'm getting 70 months without top up. If I divide 70 months without top up by 12, which is the year, I'm getting almost 5.8 years. 5.8 years what? 5.8 years without topping up cash if one party is working. Okay? Now, the worst scenario, for whatever reason, suddenly both parties are not working. Scenario C. If both parties are not working, 3776 they have to pay. The reserve fund at 180,000. So I take 180,400 divided by 3776. 47 months. Divided by 12 is actually close to 4 years without topping up cash. Yeah, you're right. So Eden, you're right. So again, right, in this scenario, are they very safe for this upgrade? Ladies and gentlemen, are they safe for this upgrade? Yes or no? Yes, yes, yes. All right. Very good. So again, understanding cash reserve can help you do what? Assure your clients. Okay, assure your clients. Of course, 4 years, right? It's okay. 4 years, is very optimistic. Most of the time, I'm saying 2 years to 3 years max. How do I counter this? All right. Again, you're not going to lose your job, or both parties are not going to lose your job for 2 to 3 years. At one point of time, at any one point of time within these 2 to 3 years, one party will come back into the workforce. All right, definitely one. I haven't seen anybody that's out of job for 3 years, or even 2 years for that matter. 1 year possible. All right, but it's also because they took a while to find what they want. But I will always ask them, if 2 years you got no job, you cannot be, ma. You will go and find a job, ma. So again, if it's 2 or 3 years, generally it's still safe, lah. All right, so you use this to do assuring your clients. So you assure your clients that it's good to go. And by doing this, it's very safe to actually enter the market or enter the new purchase itself. So these 3 things, right, risk management is how to do this thing called assurance. All right, it's how to do assurance to your clients that today these steps they are taking is lowered risk and it's well informed. All right, most importantly, well informed, and you all can make the necessary arrangement to actually proceed forward. All right. So with that itself, right, these are the things that we are going to cover. All right. Up to this point, any questions? If not, right, if you have any questions, don't worry. What I will do for you, okay, let's come back to this page. All right. I'm going to leave my number 84882001. Okay. 84882001. You all can take down my number and you all can ask me those questions. Again, give me a while to reply. I may have read your messages. If I don't reply you, do give me a reminder text or just drop me a call. Okay. So that is something that I'm willing to run through with you all, because if we were to do the questions here, it may take up some of our colleagues' time. All right. So last thing, I saw Elaine's question, able to do a quick repeat on lower risk entry. Lower risk entry is about spotting the lowest entry prices for your clients. All right. Even if today Riverfront is not part of this example, if I'm comparing Affinity with Florence, as long as I can buy in lower than the line. All right. So Elaine, if you look at the line, Florence line is now floating 1,006 plus 1,007 per square foot. If I can buy anything below the current transaction prices at 1.5 plus per square foot, would it be a safe entry? Elaine, would it be a safe entry if I can buy something lower than 1,006 per square foot in Florence? All right. Or I can even buy at close to 1,550 per square foot, which means that I'm buying close to the first day launch price. This means that I'm buying in at a very safe entry price. This is for Florence. All right. And of course, if I want to compare itself, the safest entry in this current tree graph is actually Riverfront. Riverfront now, in terms of the price entry, is the lowest of the three. But actually, to be the safest, I wouldn't buy Riverfront anymore. Not because they, other than the fact that they don't have a lot of units left, but if you see that today from day one, their price increment has gone up quite significantly also. They've gone up about $100 to $200 per square foot. Okay, so what I will buy? I will buy Affinity. If I have the budget, I will buy Affinity because Affinity's prices didn't increase too much since day one. In fact, the price has dropped, and as compared to all the other developments, I'm still buying in at the 1,005, 1,004 plus 1,005 range. So that is how I determine lower risk entry, is to make sure that today there are transactions that is buying higher than me. All right, that is how I provide the assurance that today I'm still buying in at a lower price. Okay. So without further ado, any other questions? No other questions. Thank you so much. I want y'all to save my number. If y'all got any questions, I will be able to then answer your questions privately. What is PS8? Lin, what is PS8? You mean PR8 or PS8? Okay. So if it's between Pasir Ris A and 1 Amber, 1 Amber is a better buy. Really depends. 1 Amber, if you want to buy, because it's freehold, the number of units is good. If you notice the cycle, right? If I go back to 1 Amber, hold on. If I go back to 1 Amber, right? Personally, I won't be buying 1 Amber. If I have a choice to buy PR8 or 1 Amber, I'll buy PR8 lah. All right, because if you see the prices itself, right, they will stagnate, and then the price increment is not too significant. It's just that the price won't depreciate. That is what I'm trying to say about 1 Amber. The price still increase, yes, but the incremental is not too crazy. So if I want, it really depends back to what your clients want. If your clients want something that's more long holding and can retain value, then yes, maybe 1 Amber is a good buy. But if your clients do want to make money in a 5 to 8 years duration, then the spike, or rather that jump, right, PR8 will probably provide a better jump in terms of price increment as compared to 1 Amber, looking at how 1 Amber price trend is. All right, so that is what I would say. So if you ask me, I think each serve its own purpose. So it really boils back down to what your clients are looking for. But for me, generally for my clients are more short mid-term, right, I will still go for PR8. Okay, Ken? All right, so with that, I don't have anything else. You all got my number. Anything else, you all can just text me and ask me. All right? No problem. Thank you, guys. All right, stay safe, drink your water, and today is the last day to bring your clients out for viewing. So please reconnect with all your clients. Can view today. PR8 cutting off their check, so please go and submit your check if you're biased for PR8. All right, so I will see you all. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.